Hey guys, happy Sunday. Thanks for stopping by for another video here at alliseeisW. In today's video, we'll be covering latest updates with ETH and BMNR led by Chairman Tom Lee. We've seen already yesterday with crypto pumping. In fact, Bitcoin reached its all-time high, surpassing 125,000. We got Ethereum breaking out as well. Hasn't gotten to its all-time high yet, but it looks primed, it looks ready. We're looking for the next leg up with Ethereum and BMNR. In fact, I'll be going through technical analysis predictions, share with you what my support resistance level for ETH and BMNR is for the rest of the year and long term. Now, if you're new to this channel and you enjoy this content with ETH and BMNR, I would really appreciate you smashing the like, subscribing for more related content, and you don't want to miss it, where I will be playing an epic video clip from Tom Lee at the Singapore Crypto Conference. Let's begin, guys.
Third thing that we always keep in the back of our minds is that there are longer term drivers of markets. And I think the most underappreciated is demographics, that demographics are more important than even economic policy. And it's something I learned when I was a wireless analyst. Before I became a strategist in 2007, I had spent the prior 14 years of my career as a technology analyst covering the wireless industry. And one of the things I learned was that the potential of the wireless industry was underestimated by most people because they didn't think about the demographic impact. The third thing that we always keep in the back.
Crypto Rover posts, Tom Lee thinks all the signs are in place for Ethereum to hit 62,000. I'll go through my overall forecast. Put it in the comments how high you think ETH is going to go for the rest of, Q4. Merlin the Trader posts, Tom Lee is set to appear on the Joe Rogan podcast to talk about Ethereum. 10 million plus ears, one message. ETH is the future. In fact, we had Sailor potentially talking about, getting on an interview with Joe Rogan. But if Tom Lee is able to, speak to Joe Rogan on his podcast, this really puts Tom Lee at the precipice to become, one of the richest mans eventually as BMNR continues to grow its market cap, which it will grow from a small cap to a large cap company. Cointelegraph posts ETH is now 8.2% away from its all-time high, where we are, just with ETH, recently getting, close to, 5,000 not too long ago. Where we are right now, we're still early in the game, 8.2% away from its all-time high, while Bitcoin yesterday broke above all-time high. I think ETH has a lot of room to shoot up. Merlin the Trader also posts Ethereum is mirroring Gold's breakout. Gold tested resistance for years before igniting. ETH is just did the same. You're watching the early phase of a macro breakout. The target 5 digits. The timing is now. I mean, on the left, look at the gold price. I mean, you see it skyrocketing from like 2000 low point all the way up, nearly double. Where are we right now with Ethereum? Looks like we're building support. The longer the consolidation, the bigger the base, the bigger the squeeze with ETH. BMNR Bulls posts Tom Lee during his keynote at Korea Blockchain Week in Seoul. Wall Street and the White House are eyeing Ethereum as their blockchain pick. Tom Lee sees ETH blasting to 12K, Bitcoin to 250K by December 31st. He also highlighted Ethereum's proof of stake model as key to its appeal for institutional adoption. I mean, we hear a lot about tokenization, convergence with AI and ETH, proof of human concept. All of this is changing how we look at technology. Mon Investor posts, Iron ranked second among the top 50 stocks net purchased by Korean investors. It was in 33 place back in August. Other notable names in top 10, you got BMNR as a number one stock in the Korean market. Obviously, Tom Lee is, Korean, but I think as a Korean American, this really puts, the company at the forefront, which is why Koreans love investing into BMNR. They like the use case, and Americans love BMNR as well, which is why it's one of the top traded, stock right now. And Tom Lee is getting a lot of recognition. So you see, no surprise that BMNR is number one, given that Tom Lee is Korean American and is the company's chairman. Let's take a look at the numbers with BMNR and just in terms of their overall, journey with buying ETH. So you look now, I mean, they have, 2.65 million tokens of ETH, valued close to $10 billion, market cap. They have a 2.19 supply of ETH. I mean, they have the 5% alchemy. They're about like, 40% away from that. Earnings per share growth has gone up significantly, 1.89%. We're also seeing the MNAV gradually increase, which is why we see the stock price, getting higher. Target price progress 43.8%. So they continue to aggressively buy Ethereum to stack it, and eventually you're going to get the staking, which will bring in revenue as well. Let's take a look at ARK investment, just purchases. So Cathie Woods has been just buying BMNR for several months now. I mean, back in July, bought, a ton of BMNR, 126 million, July, August, September. So through all these months, Cathie Woods has been stacking BMNR. She believes in the use case, and they have, millions of shares holding on to BMNR. She believes in the use case, tomlee and Ethereum, network. Heisenberg posts about BMNR. He says this one is fairly obvious, very charitable, no secret to how tight it's been consolidating in this triangle. At some point, and looks to be soon, will climax. Also, Bitcoin looks like it wants fresh all-time highs towards 130,000. Should spell good for ETH as well. If ETH follows Bitcoin and heads towards all-time high, BMNR will most definitely see $70 retest, if not more. This is very high beta name, but I like it. HODL. My spidey sense tells me good odds. Look at this. I mean, he's saying $70 retest. I'll give you my overall assessment as well. Relative strength is fairly in the equilibrium. It's getting ready for a breakout. Launchpad 2.0. Antonio posts BMNR still trading above major moving averages, which indicates that momentum of the stock is very bullish. So you got the moving average price is well above that. So that just tells you that we have higher lows, which is a good thing. You got $30, support August, you got September, $40 support, and now you have October, $50 support. So every month we have an increment of $10 increase driven from the MNAV increase. This really puts BMNR in a position where it's ready to rocket launch up. Mike Investing posts BMNR is about to see a euphoric squeeze towards 110 plus by November, set up in a tight flag and with wells loading tens of millions daily. BMNR will rocket soon. Anything under $60 on BMNR is simply free money. Expect over 120, 150% from here soon. Mark my words. So we're going to see things go parabolic. How parabolic? Put in the comments. Let me know how parabolic BMNR is going to be going. Jake posts Bull flag breakout target is the 1.618 extension of the August September breakout at 5,655. This could happen quicker than most people think. What are we seeing? We're seeing this bull flag play out. Eventually, we're going to break out of that. And, Ethereum is going to just rocket up, and BMNR, let's say, it gets to that, 5,650. Where will BMNR go? Put it in the comments. Let's look at technical analysis. I want to share with you some key points, to look at. So, one of the things we want to just look at is, the whales continue to load up. I mean, we saw this oversold signal, when price was at like $40 support. We saw the whales loading up. We saw this mini dip, but we're beginning to see the whales smart money load up as well. And the wave is reversing. We're seeing that. And just look at this pennant flag playing out. I'm thinking we're just going to break out of this. It's a textbook play. And how high will it go? I think we're going to, test, 70, $77, $80, to the upside, have that, retest that prior resistance, hover, consolidate before that next leg up. But this is looking very good. We have volume increasing, whales are loading up. And just, we see this reversal trend line, things are looking like it's going in the green here. But just to point out some additional things I want to point out is we got that, we got that circle here, which is that red candle. Red candle represents we got momentum. It's hovering above the moving averages. We got RSI building up, which is why we see that red candle followed by purple candles. That tells you we're in a bull push up price. And then we got the yellow candle, which is, a sell indicator. But look, we just got another red candle, October, a time frame, and now we're going to expect to see purple candles to follow, which is why I think we're going to push up somewhere around 77, $88 as a level one. But as we look at Q4, I think we're going to go anywhere from, 100, 20 to 100, 50 range. Let's say if Ethereum goes to like 8,000, this could, go even further where it currently is. It can go to 150, it can go to 200. So the sky is the limit right now. We've seen how much it pushed up at one point, $162. So triple digits is well within reach. So that's why we're staying leveraged with BMNR.
Well, I think that BitMine, number one, was really thoughtful in terms of communicating. We've kept the message really simple that ETH is in a super cycle. We communicate that through our website with our presentations and our chairman's message videos. I think BitMine has had a lot of connectivity to the institutional world. Cathie Woods made a big public investment in BitMine pretty early. It's now a top 10 holding for ARK. That's drawn on other institutional investors into it. And I think that process has created the flywheel. And that's why we're the 26th most traded stock in the US today. And between us and MicroStrategy, as you point out, we're really creating the liquidity and the dApps.
Yeah. So what do you attribute then? So you guys are now also expanding beyond just Ethereum. So there was a recent announcement that you guys were, I think it was like seeding the WorldCoin DAT, and you guys are like kind of got your eyes open. Tell me about that part of the strategy.
Well, I think BitMine wants to play a role in helping Ethereum make it to the next 15 years. And that's helping identify, projects that are important that will use a lot more ETH and burn gas. It's also helping seed other payment rails that come onto ETH. And of course, we're working, very closely with the Ethereum Foundation to really identify and prioritize upgrades. So I think part of that is also investing in projects that really stand out. So Orbs, 8Co, which is a WorldCoin DAT, as A16Z points out, out of the 11 things that AI really cares about, one is proof of humanity. And World is really one of the first projects. There are almost 17 million people that have been verified human. I mean, I think protecting humanity, is a big priority on the blockchain.
So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, I would really appreciate smashing a like, subscribing to this channel. Thanks, guys, for watching.